number 2 seed at 106. Top seed at 106 was James Schramm.
The boss wants to get a word in edgewise.
Well, I want to welcome everyone once again, since we're starting the second round, since we're into the quarters and that. I want to welcome everyone to this Western Wisconsin video production. I'm Ken Manning, along with Chuck Rasmussen from Lancaster and Kirk Clayer here from Richland Center. This is the 61st annual Richland Center Wrestling Invitational, and I think, guys, we've been doing this off and on. We've been working together, but I think I started this about 15 years ago. My sincere thanks going out to Richland Center High School, Richland Center School District, Laura Selby, the athletic director now, and all the past athletic directors for allowing us to come in and present this great tournament. And thank you two for helping out.
You had a final there, though, didn't you, Ken? Or Chuck?
I probably did.
You had a pin there.
I was looking at somebody else. Champlin would have been the one, I believe. That came up with
he got the
fall.
pin there, yep.
All right. The 106-pound weight class, we were talking about numbers before, only 7 wrestlers at 106 today.
There's a pin there on mat number 3. That was Shield from River Valley. He comes up with the fall there and moves on to the semifinal. Down on mat number 1, here's a name that's familiar with that northern area. Deacon Lambert from CFC. He takes on Sibrin Klein from, is that how you pronounce that, Ken? Sibrin?
I think so, yeah. Klein, yeah. I think it is.
Well, the Klein part I could do.
Yeah, no, I want to do the easy one too. Come on.
Okay, we have a Richland Center wrestler on there. I got to get on that one right away because that's Caden Stibbe down there in his quarterfinal action. He takes on Braden Hill Homne from Reedsburg. Freshman against freshman, but the freshman from Reedsburg is 13-0, and he's leading right now 3-0 over Caden Stibbe.
Can you help me out on mat number 2? Who are my wrestlers?
You're looking, that was that really good trainer, Curtin from 120 now. He takes on Clayton Geyer from Westby. So senior against senior there. That should be a tough match, but you got some injury time right now. Geyer took a little bit of a bump there.
Yeah, Curtin we talked about before is a 3-timer already as far as champion here at the Richland Center Invitational, looking to be in a very select group of 4-timers. Could ask our counterparts up above how many 4-timers there's been. See if we can get a hold of Bill Twining a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Encyclopedia up there.
Exactly. You got that right.
He's pretty hyped up today because we're doing Hall of Fame today, and Bill just does one heck of a job keeping that Hall of Fame organized and keeping track of everybody and stuff.
The hours of research he puts in as far as to all these biographies.
Yes, and he does a heck of a job, like you just mentioned. He writes all those, too. A very good job. Down here on mat number 3, we want to get you up to date there. That is Cale Pollock. That's a big name from the Toma area. He's leading in his match 12-3 over Carrick Thompson from Ithaca Weston, as we have an Ithaca wrestler on the mat there. Wow, I knew it was going to be a tough match down there for Stibbe, and he just got tech-falled in the first period against Braden Hale Tomei from Reedsburg, a freshman who's now 14-0. That's a pretty good freshman, Ken.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's getting his work and practice if he's wrestling Curtin each and every night.
Yeah, that helps, you bet.
You better be good. You got to survive.
Yeah. 13-1 down there on mat number 1. Ken's back in action in his mat. Excuse me, Chuck, I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. 3-1, it's Curtin with the advantage on mat number 2 at 120 pounds.
I could call you worse things, I guess.
I have been.
I don't know, it's pretty bad.
Down there on mat number 1, well, the computer should come up here, but we do have Belmont Platteville against Reedsburg down there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Reedsburg. I don't know why it takes the thing that long. There we go. That's Aiden Weigel, a sophomore, taking on Wyatt McGuire, a freshman from Riverdale. No score.
They did just finish up on one to our left here, too. I didn't see who won that one.
They'll come up here in a second, hopefully.
You do have Mills, is that, well, I don't want to say Mills.
That's Howell from Cashton out there now. He's taking on Hunter Wilkinson from Riverdale. That's a name that's really popular down in the Riverdale. Wilkinsons. You got some more injury time, don't you?
Yeah, Geyer got an arm problem right now.
Yeah,
Trainer's
that's
coming over and coach coming over. He's trailing Curtin from Reedsburg by a score of 6-1 at this end of the first period.
You know, Chuck, when you get stuff like that, you got, if it's an elbow or a shoulder, those kinds of things will last the whole year if you're not. I think they're going to call it.
Well, then you wrestling Curtin too. It's
maybe not. No, he's going to keep wrestling.
He is. Power to him. I know he's with that Geyer name. He's just not going to give up easy.
No, he's got his twin brother wrestling too. So
okay. He just ain't got a lot there, though, does he, Chuck?
Not in that arm right now.
You can tell there's still a lot of pain there. Down on the other end there, Wilkinson looking really. He's a fine freshman. He's 7-1. He's got Howell in a lot of trouble and could get a first period pin down there.
Geyer with the getting taken down by Curtin. It's 11-3.
I just feel for the young man. He's got nothing in that arm right now.
I think he's gonna.
That's gonna have to call it now.
I think
third time you stop it. Why?
They're gonna do the right thing. Yep. I got blood time down here on mat number 4. No score. There's a winner down there already. Wilkinson, must have pinned him or the pin there. There's 28 seconds.
It's Geyer's elbow, did it?
He's kind of holding in that bicep area.
That could be.
Yeah.
He was definitely favoring his right arm.
Yeah.
See him favoring the right arm there.
I'll get some ice on that.
I don't know which is worse, an elbow or a muscle.
Oh, I tell you, yeah.
Either one is good with your arms because you use them way too much in wrestling.
Yeah.
Down there on mat number 1 now, Mr. Haiti steps on the mat for Richland Center, his first match. So you got a familiar name with Richland Center and that familiar name with Toma. Cale Finch, the freshman, taking on Ethan Haiti down there on mat number 1. Haiti got the early takedown. Back to you, Chuck.
All right, help me out here on mat number 2.
Okay, you got a new one. Yeah, Ashton Udelhoven from Boscobel, a sophomore, taking on Coda Perney, and that's a good kid from GET. Perney is a very fine athlete for GET.
Yeah, and Perney, the number 2 seed here at 120 pounds. Again, Ashton Udelhoven from Boscobel.
Still blood time going on down there in mat 4. 18-7 here in mat number 3. Cale Pollock from Toma winning in that match over Thompson from Ithaca Weston.
Chuck, I got to interrupt just for a second. So Wayne Keenan says, have Chuck define a near fall for us. He just texted a little bit ago. So he's watching the tournament. So.
Chuck was a coach. He taught near falls. It's Wayne that's got to figure out how to score it.
I'm going to pass off to a former official.
Well, describing a near fall, the easiest way is to say is holding your opponent in a pinning type position where you're in criteria for near fall.
And the criteria, the shoulders at 45 degrees or less.
Yep.
All right.
4 inches.
4 inches.
Yep, and there's a fall down there. That's what you call a fall using the 2 seconds, that you were talking about earlier today. Yeah. Ethan Haiti comes up with that down on mat number 1. And then you can get it in a high bridge, but a lot of times when wrestlers get in a high bridge, officials get a little bit nervous and start calling potentially dangerous.
Yeah, stop that.
I saw it's kind of interesting. Now they have all this stuff out on YouTube and Facebook. I saw one the other day where a kid was in a high bridge and the official didn't stop it right away. He popped up in the air and the other was just not, shouldn't even describe it on the radio. It was just amazing that hopefully the young man didn't get hurt.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw Mr. Keenan, was it 2 weeks ago? We're up at the tournament up at Reedsburg, the duels up there. did a good job officiating.
Wayne and his wife Shelley have dedicated a lot to the sport of wrestling, and
Yes,
they
they
both
have.
should be get a good applause and a good hands up for that. Plus, I might get to work with Shelley later this year. Kid's nice to me, so I really got to pump her up. 20-7 here was the final here for Pollock over Thompson from Ithaca Weston on mat number 3. Still no score down there on mat number 4, although I see him cranking backwards. So back to you, Chuck. What do you got?
No score on mat number 2 as you go into the second period between Utelopen from Boscobel and Perney from GET. Perney, a junior, number 2 seed, 8-2.
That Mickelson from Cashton, that isn't any relation to Kent, is it?
I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. All right. He's down there on mat number 1, taking on Brody Bancy from GET. In the sophomore there is over the freshman right now, 6-1.
Couple of Titans out there on the mat wrestling right now.
Yep. Now we have another Baraboo wrestler out there, Desmond Severson. He takes on Grayson Stein from Toma on mat number 3. 6-0 now. Weigel got on the scoreboard down there on mat number 4. They're in the second period. That's a sophomore against a freshman. McGuire only a freshman, but he has a decent record at 6-3 coming into the tournament.
Yeah, it's a 4-5 matchup right there as far as the seeds.
Yeah. One thing about wrestling right now is different for a lot of the fans to grasp into is we're into a lot of either tournaments or tries and quads. There's just not that typical dual meet very often anymore.
No, and we kind of ran into the situation there at Lancaster where they had one home dual meet this year, and that provides a lot of means a lot of things to try to get done. You do senior night, you do parents night, you do youth night. There was a recognition night, and then they ended up they had a few JV matches, but they didn't have the girls matches that night too. So talking to a couple people, I get the indication that they're going to try to have at least 2 home dual meets.
I think that would mean a lot to a lot of these schools, but you're right. Every school now is kind of somewhat struggling with that.
Yeah.
And it's great to have these quads so that when you at least come, there's wrestling action going to occur. Because it is kind of hard to come to a dual meet and only see 1 or 2 bouts or even so. But it is changed it for the fan, especially in wrestling, that you might only have one event for the whole year.
Talking again with one of our former wrestlers a little bit ago here too, is helping do some coaching. Does it make a lot of difference if you have 39 matches versus 40 matches when it comes to regionals time? I don't think it does.
No, I don't either. I think that's kind of a moot point. So we got a final down there. Weigel ends up winning 10-1 in that bout as they finally fought through some blood time there. So he'll move on to the semifinals at 120.
Yeah, you get a lot of these guys that get over that 40 match. It's like, okay. That's when you got to worry about injuries too, though. That's a long season.
Yeah. 5-0 in your match, right, Chuck?
Yes, sir.
Some more blood time there, though. Moving on down there, I guess I can't get it. I know we got Reedsburg against Iowa Grant Highland down there on mat number 4. 10-1 now on mat number 3. That's Severson over Stein from Toma. Severson from Baraboo. Mat number 1, 10-4 down there for Dancy over Mickelson.
On mat 4, it's Cade Parrish, who came in with a 12-1 record. He's the number 3 seed, taking on the number 6 seed in Hayden Altman, a freshman from Iowa Grant Highland. He's 7-4. So it's the 3-6 seeds wrestling there on mat number 4.
Perney with a advantage of 5-0, minute and 10 mark in the third period, 120 pounds. That's on mat number 2.
Iowa Grant already has had a stellar season. Like you mentioned, they wrestled in that first tournament down in Iowa, which was a very prestigious tournament. They ended up second. behind some quality, behind a quality team there. Then they went over and bumped heads with a lot of Division III and 1 teams over there at the Devils Duels or Duels in the Dells. And now today here at Richland Center, and then next week, or 27th and 28th, up at the Bi-State, which that'll be a bloodbath for all these teams here. I think Reedsburg is about the only one that goes, and they go over to Oshkosh of the Waters.
Yeah, and then Iowa Grant Highland wrestled Prairie du Chien on Tuesday night too, and that was like I'm going to say a 50-21 match.
Okay, and I was Iowa Grant's favor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very strong here in these about 40, them real nice 6-pounders we mentioned several times. We got a final here though. We'll come back to that. That's 13-3 as Severson from Baraboo wins here on mat number 3. Chuck is still wrestling there. 17-5 down on mat number 1 now. That's Dancy down there. And in Parrish's match, it's 3-1 in favor of Parrish over Altman on mat number 4 at 126.
And Perney will win by a score of 5-0.
Okay, that'll be a final there. We'll be moving on to Renish and Milsna. That's going to be Parker Milsna coming out there. And he's already had one really good match with Ethan Haiti up at the Royal Tournament. Looks like we have a final down there. I'm thinking it might be Tech Fall down there. Yeah, 21-5. Bancy wins over Mickelson down there on mat number 1. Yeah, you're going to have Parker Milsna coming out here next at 126 on your match.
State qualifier last year too, Parker was.
Yep. And here on mat number 3, we have Jesse Kastner from Belmont Platteville. He takes on another good wrestler from GET, Colton Koff, a junior with a 10-0 record here at 126.
Also here at 126 is said on mat number 2, Parker Milsna from Caston. He has a record of 12-1. He's a junior. The number 4 seed in today's tournament, wrestling against Preston Renish from Riverdale. He's a sophomore with a record of 5-2.
That's a familiar name for the Riverdale Chieftains too. The Renish name.
Parrish out in front 6-2 now over on mat 4.
Down on mat number 1, we have Lucas Christensen back on the mat again at 132 for Iowa Grant Highland. He takes on Briggs Weigel, the freshman. And he's got a really impressive record, 14-2 already this early in the year. But right now he's finding a tough road against the experienced Christensen as a senior. 30-1 he's trailing right now.
Weigel really put together in that upper body too.
That, what helps to have I think that's a brother on the team in Dillon that probably, as Ken mentioned earlier, that sparring sometime that happens at home is just as tough as what happened or in the practice room, just as meaningful as what happens out here today in these matches.
Yeah.
6-3, Parrish still leading down there in mat 4. Koss up 3-0 in his match. In your match, Chuck?
It's 3-0 there, and it's Milsna with the takedown right before they went out of bounds. Was able to keep a toe in, and as Kirk described earlier, that's all you need is just one part of your body in, of either body to score.
Parker lost to Haiti at the Royal Tournament, but then he turned around and he just won the Toma Scramble last week up at Toma there. So he's off to a good start again.
Thanks to those sponsors, we're going to kind of divide them up here in sponsorship of particular weight classes, and I just didn't get to them, but at 106 pounds, Advanced Pump and Well Solutions, Larry and Shelley Ferguson, Ash Creek Plumbing, Heating, and Electric. Capital Wealth Advisory, Ameriprise Financial Services for 113, along with the Cashton Wrestling Club, Century 21 and Checkered Flag out of Reedsburg, supporting the 120-pound weight class, Coon Valley Telecommunications, and Dairyland Transportation with our 126-pound weight class. That's where we're at right now. And Kirk, we got some encouragement going on down there by our official with the 2 wrestlers.
Oh, down there, man, I was watching Koss get a pin here on mat number 3, so I wanted to mention that as he gets the fall there. for GT. That was at 126.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of action going on, and Matt kind of was like, come on, you guys, get going. And you could actually hear him clear up here. And now there's a 9-4 score. So all of a sudden, the 13 points on the board when there wasn't hardly anything.
And you got them going in gears. You got a tight one in your match, Chuck, so I'm going to come to you.
Yeah, it's 3-2 at the minute and 45 mark of the second period. We've got the score now with the escape.
Boy, that breaks Weigel. He's
Yeah.
got Christensen in a world of hurt.
Oh, boy.
(4-2) on the mat number 2.
Must be a reason that freshman's got that good a record. To Christensen's credit, he got out of it. But it's now going to be, I believe, 5-3 down there. The computer updates. I'm pretty sure that was a 4-0 fall. Kudos to Christians to get off his back there because a lot of guys would have got pinned in that situation. 12-5 now down there in Parrish's match. Ken's watching down there in mat number 4. Now we have out on mat number 3, we have Peyton Olberg at 138 from Baraboo. He takes on Peyton Smith from Toma.
Parrish would like to get another turn here and get it's 12-6 right now. If he could get a turn and get a major decision.
Mills up 7-2. They come back and get sat with 51 seconds to go in the second period.
Final score will be 12-6 down on mat number 4. Cade Parrish moving on once again. Heading to the semis.
That's good. We're moving about third of the way through. Heck of a match going on down there between Christensen and Weigel. Right now, Weigel leads in that 9-3. 15-4, Olberg over Smith on mat number 3 at 138. That's Olberg from Baraboo. That's a familiar name for the Baraboo Thunderbirds. Down there on mat number 4, we have Riverdale against River Valley again, but it hasn't updated to me yet to see names. There we go. That's Lakota Brewer. I thought that was a familiar look out there. Lakota Brewer from Riverdale, the sophomore, the fine 9-0 record. He takes on Tyler Maxwell from River Valley, one of their better wrestlers, sporting a junior with a 6-4 record. Brewer getting the early takedown. And Olberg, he either got a near fall or a fall here on mat number 3.
Yeah, Baraboo picked up the win, 21-5.
That was at 138. We jumped up to. They told Ken before, you can't always count on him staying in form here.
Our 132-pound weight class is brought to you by Open Season Hunting Outlet right here in Richland Center. Give Andy a call at 608-649-0030. Genuine Telecom, providing the best internet service for the city of Richland Center. And Titan Wrestling Club. I'll tell you what a great job they're doing there. Pete Peterson and his crew, they look to try and make it down to the state team tournament once again in March. They have just really done a nice job with that co-op with GT Melmin.
Finish up the 126-pound weight class. Parker Mills with a 9-2 advantage over Treston Renish. Stop there at 1:15 in the third period.
Wow, once Weigel gave up that early takedown, and then after that, he just totally dominated.
What was the final there?
16-3, I believe.
Wow.
He just totally dominated the freshman there at 132 for Belmont Platteville. He was the number 2 seed, and he will move on to the semis as he beat Christensen in that bout there. Now on mat number 3, we have Maverick Arneson from CFC. He takes on Lane Fry, the junior from GET Melmin. Brewer's match down there, he's winning 7-0 over Maxwell on mat number 4. You're getting close to a final, or is it over?
Oh, no, we got 43 seconds
Okay.
remaining.
It's an 8-0 score down on mat number 4 here with Brewer of Riverdale over River Valley.
Yep. Tyler Maxwell from River
Maxwell,
Valley.
yep.
Yep. Down on mat number 1 now, we have Brock Barrett from Richland Center. He's taking on Lucas McCormick from Holman. Brock, sophomore, getting to see some good action here today. That's at 132 bout.
Maxwell gave up a takedown, but then picked up a reversal. And it's a 15-2 score with 1:09 to go in the second period. And a quick timeout as they're reevaluating the scoring.
That answered our question. They are wrestling wrestlebacks and championship at the same time, because Barrett is in a wrestleback in his match against McCormick and leads 3-0 down there on mat number 1.
Milsner will win by a final score of 9-3.
Well, what happened down on mat number 4 was the fact that there was a takedown. Brewer got the takedown, which, excuse me, gave him the tech fall. Maxwell, to his credit, kept wrestling, and he got the reversal, but that doesn't count. The tech fall supersedes that particular move. So it's a 15-0 win for the top seed in Lakota Brewer.
So now we move on. Mat number 2 and 4 with new bouts. Got again another Belmont Platteville against GET down on mat number 4. And here you have, I saw this uniform earlier. We thought he was from Ithaca, but I don't know where this young man is from. He's from, wait, where did Ithaca Weston come up with that kind of uniform? That is Ethan Stoll from Ithaca Weston taking on Andrew Pocken from Baraboo on mat number 2.
Yeah,
Chuck's
we've,
bout.
we've seen this singlet a couple different times.
Showcasing the new one.
You have seen this singlet?
Just in a previous match.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Only got a final down there. Barrett came up with a win down there for Richland Center. I believe that must have been a pin. He pinned McCormick down there on mat number 1, so he moves on in the consolation round.
On mat 4, we have a new match out there at 138 pounds, and our sponsors for 138, Archie Lumber, wishing the best of luck to the co-op team of Ithaca Weston, along with the Reedsburg Beavers and other area teams, thanks to Scott Parrish. Iowa Grant Highland Wrestling Club, along with head coach Ryan Allen, competing in one of the toughest conferences in the state. Be sure to follow the squad throughout the year. They are highly ranked.
Stoll's putting on a takedown clinic
Yeah,
there,
3
isn't he, Chuck?
takedowns already in the first period. These look smooth on each of them.
Down there on mat number 4, as Ken mentioned, we have Cam Spenceley. He's taking on Jace Anderson from GET. Cam Spenceley from Belmont Platteville. Anderson, and that's a familiar name from GET, but a freshman taking on a senior down there. Mat number 1, we have Terrence Courier, a freshman. He's taking on Aiden Bedward from Iowa Grand Highland. A 6-1 score down there. So back to Chuck.
Yeah, Stoll comes up with a fall in 1 minute and 45 seconds after he was leading 9-2.
Oh yeah, they do have a nice IW in the front there, don't
Is that
they?
what? Oh, okay. A little,
Yeah.
what about the back part?
I don't know where that comes in. That I think is just their support of deer hunting in Richland County.
Just taking care of business.
Would that man there be a Weston wrestler? Is there a differentiation between Ithaca and Weston? Ken, do you know?
I don't think so, but yeah. I think they all, they went to a 1 club now versus 2. They're really looking at, they're making a change. I'll talk about that in just a few moments with their youth wrestling. So yeah, I'd be a little surprised.
Okay.
Bedward down there got in a lot of trouble on mat number 1. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's been a really nice co-op, and from looking at things from the outside between Ithaca and Weston.
Yeah.
Now we have Hunter Moe out there on mat number 2 at 138 from Ithaca West, and he takes on Kyle Wazinger from Richland Center in a Richland County bout out there. Mat 3, 12-3, Fry over Arneson. Fry from GET. Still no score down there in Ken's match. He's trying to find his first points.
Yeah, they've been battling. Good defense on both wrestlers' part.
8-8 down there in mat number 1. That's turned into a battle down there.
On mat 4, by the way, it's a number 4-5 seed matchup here with Spenceley, the number 5 seed, the senior, over with the freshman and Chase Anderson, who is 8-4, so not a bad record for a freshman coming in.
We're up to all the matches out there right now. That doesn't happen for us very often. 138 on all 4 matches.
Take a picture, quick. Yeah, we hope you're enjoying today's broadcast. We look forward to more coming up down the road here. Back in, we'll be doing, Kirk, you and I will be doing the Lee Griffin tournament on January 11th. There's a lot of local teams in that one. Richland Center will be there.
They're not going to come this year.
They're not now? They changed it?
They changed it. I think they're going to Sparta now.
Well, they lost the tournament with Toma.
So maybe they'll get back in.
Maybe they'll get back in.
Although they're the same weekend, though, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
Sure.
They might be.
Yeah.
No, I thought Sparta was at the end of.
That's what I was thinking too. Now they said that.
Yeah,
I was thinking they were towards the end of the month.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Well, let's put a question mark by that.
There you go. We'll do that.
I was hoping maybe they'd come on down to Lancaster, because Lancaster moved theirs back to, I think it's the 11th
Oh, right.
now too,
Yep.
and they're short a couple
Yep.
teams. So anybody out there listening, check out the Lancaster Invitational. I believe it's January 11th. 4-4 between Mo and Wazinger.
That's how I'd pronounce it.
Okay.
Sounds like a good way to pronounce it. Still tight, a really tight match down there in mat number 1. There's some more scoring now, but 8-8, I believe it is down there.
We got a 1-0. Oh, now it's changed to 4-0 score with Spenceley of Belmont Platteville picking up the lead over the freshman and Chase Anderson of GET Melmin.
There we go. Got to watch this guy when he clicks too many buttons on the computer. Things can get fuzzy. 9-8 down there, but they're going takedowns between Courier and Bedward, mat 1. Chuck's got an update.
5-4, yeah. A couple close matches right now.
12-3. That, I believe, now is a final as Fry wins there from GT. That was the number 2 seed as he beats Arneson from Cochrane Fountain City. And so he'll move on to the semis. Spenceley 4-0 down there over to Anderson.
Wazinger up 5-4 at the minute mark of the second period at 1:38. Wrestling against Mo from Westland, Ithaca.
Yeah, that's a quarterfinal, so that's a good match.
Quick timeout with, looks like a bit of a bloody nose there with Spenceley. He still has that 4-0 lead.
Oh, nice takedown there by Bedward as he's going to push his lead over Courier for a takedown and near fall. Ooh, that was a big move there. He got 9 points out of it. Takedown and a 4-point near fall. I guess that only adds up to 7. I'm sorry.
Where'd you go to high school?
Wait a minute. I wasn't in this school. I went to the old high school.
Yeah, that was old Matt
old
too.
one,
Yeah. That was the issue.
Is that the old high school still there?
No, they
That's been
tore it all down. That's parking lot for the hospital now.
okay.
15-8 down there. Bedward ends up winning that match. That was a consolation round too in that down there.
That was the old Beehive, right?
Yep, on their old Hornet Hive.
Hornet Hive.
And
That's
they're
what it was.
trying to revive that one hive stuff too. So that never gets out of your realm of thought when you're talking about hornets.
Yeah.
Still a tight match that Chuck's got there. We got a new match out here on mat number 3. That's Dickman, Blake Dickman from Riverdale Southmore at 138. He's taking on Max Kroik from River Valley Southmore. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. But Max is out there wrestling Blake, and then still 4-0 down there in Ken's match as we come back to Chuck again.
5-4 at the minute and 33 mark of the third period. Wassinger with that advantage, 5-4 over Mole.
Down there on mat number 1 now, we have Derek Franzen from Ithaca Weston at 144. He takes on Hudson Jablonski from Reedsburg.
We're now at 5-5 at a minute 15.
Anderson has picked up a reversal, and then just like that, with 20 seconds remaining, it's a reversal back for Spenceley, and he has that 6-2 advantage.
Here comes the throw, Chuck.
He is able to get that, and that's Mole. Back points being counted. And there.
Ooh, wow. There was one of those touch falls, Chuck.
Yes,
Yeah.
We talked about that. A lot of people don't necessarily know what a pin is, as far as from a time standpoint.
Looked like it for me.
There.
I'm in the top row. I could see it. There you go.
Yeah.
He did get that fall, though, didn't he, Chuck?
He did, in the time of 5 minutes and 25 seconds.
Spenceley does pick up the victory of 6-2, so he will move on to the semis. And I believe he's going to be facing Peyton Oberg, the number 1 seed. I believe he won his match.
Which weight class you at?
At 138.
Who you, Spenceley? Yeah, he's going to take on
Oberg?
Oberg. Yeah,
Okay.
Oberg won there. Yeah.
That's right.
Ask you another quick question here, too. If you make it into the semifinals, you're guaranteed 4th today? All right, good.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They're showing that. They're not showing a wrestle back.
Yeah.
Just showing a straight 3rd. I think that is, they'd otherwise the potential they could get, but you can get
You
6.
can get 6 now, right?
Yeah, that's right. So they could really actually change that if they wanted to. Updating who's out there right now. We still have Jablonski out there. He leads 3-1 over Derek Franzen on mat number 1. Brody Meese now stepping on the mat on Chuck's mat there. He takes on Max Kelly. That should be about there to watch.
It should be.
You watch that one, Chuck.
All right, I'll keep an eye on that. Brody Meese, the number 3 seed coming in.
And down on Ken's match, and I wish I could make him pronounce this other name, but we have Peyton Ferguson from Reedsburg, and he takes on Young from Holman Reserves there.
Meese with the first takedown.
And that young man's going to make us pronounce his name for the rest of the day because he's still in the tournament with a fall down there on mat number 4.
Moving on.
I thought Chuck did a good shot at that earlier. I think he called it Fuchs Young.
That's good. Meese, a number 3 seed, comes in now with a 12-1, or excuse me, a 9-1 record. He is a junior wrestling against Max Kelly, a sophomore, with a record of 4-2.
Wonder who Brody ran into that gave him that loss already.
Moving to 144 pounds, and our sponsors for that particular weight class is the Ithaca Weston Wrestling Club. Remember that Saturday, March 8th in 2025 is the Youth Folk Style Wrestling Tournament. Change in venue. It's at Weston Middle School, High School, a girls division, $20 registration, free admission for spectators, no weigh-ins. It's the honor system. Wrestling to begin at 9:30 with no USA card. Be sure to check that out. And Jones Chevrolet right here in Richland Center, pushing that 100-year mark. The Jones family been serving the area for many, many years. We thank Ryan Jones and the great crew there.
Meese and Nearfall at the end of the first period. He leads 7-0 going into the second period against Kelly.
We had a fall down there on mat number 1. That would be the young man from Reedsburg, Hudson Jablonski. He gets a fall down there over Franzen. in that match. Down on mat number 4, we now have out there Kobe DeYoung from GET. He takes on Braden Kubas from CFC. And a fall on mat number 3, and that would be Max Giroux from River Valley. I apologize many times for not, I'll figure out here by the time we get to the placement matches how to pronounce his last name. But he gets a fall there, Max does, at 138 for River Valley. So in your match, it's still 7-0, right,
Still
Chuck?
7-0.
Okay.
Kelly working in the top position has had that leg in for most of the first minute.
Quickly jump down to mat number 1 as Blake Moore gets back out here in a consolation match at 144. And he is wrestling Landon Kelly from Holman. He's got him in a lot of trouble right away with a takedown and near fall.
3-3 score now on mat 4.
Really good here. This is, we talked about him earlier when we watched his younger brother, but Dylan Weigel, the junior out here, he's taking on Colton Williams, the freshman from Iowa Grant Highland at 144. But Weigel definitely got some good blood genes in there, and he's looking for a good year this year. 11-2 right now is his record, and he got a fall down there, didn't you, Ken?
I got to take a look. I think that was, let's see, was that GET? Was that DeYoung?
Yeah, DeYoung got the fall, yep.
Okay.
That was in the second period, 52 seconds into it, so 2:52 on that pin.
He picked up a takedown and went right to the fall.
Yeah, that was at 144.
He's able to pick up a near fall at the end of the second period, leading 12-0 now as they go to the third at 144 pounds.
Moeller down there. God, I would have swore he got near fall there. But maybe my computer isn't updated. Come up here and hit the button and see what we can get done. Well, it says it's only 3-0, so he must not have gave him any near fall. But now he got another reversal. Now he's locking up a cradle down there is Blake Moeller. He's got him in trouble this time. He should get at least some near fall, if not the fall. Nice near side cradle. You can just hold him there.
Oh.
Lost it all. Should at least got 4 near fall out of it. But now Landon Kelly's coming around trying to get his cradle in. Weigel here in mat number 3, 15-5. Update down here for Kubas against DeYoung. Oh, that was over, wasn't it? That ended up in the fall, that's right. Oh wait, maybe that was, oh, that's blood time down there going.
Meese
You
ends
gotta
up
find-
with a 15-0 type fall.
Yeah, that was at 144.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a tough weight class.
I was going to say, my goodness.
Meese ended up with the 3rd seed. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
Remember that Stetzer kid from GET, but he must be tough too.
That's who's coming out now.
No, I see he's the 2nd seed. He must have won this match here earlier. Well, he just won down there that fall, I think you had.
Just for informational purposes, do you remember as far as the criteria is it strictly record as far as proceeding, or did they go like state place winners?
They
state?
had a little bit of a challenge that in the seeding meeting is Dylan Weigel ends up with a tech fall here on mat number 3. They used records as the number 1 criteria, and then coming in lower below that was winners at the state tournament last year, place winners at the state tournament last year. So they might want to adjust that. They were talking about adjusting that for next year. But that was the criteria today, but that's how we talked about. That's how Haiti, they asked for the number 1 seed and moved him up. As we just talked about, this 144-pound weight class, I look at that, that's got to be one of the tougher weight classes here today. When you have Weigel in there and Meese and Stetzer from GET in there.
Stetzer's wrestling right now on mat number 2. Jay Stetzer. The number 2 seed is Kirk Stead. He's wrestling against Evan Johnson from Toma.
Yep.
And already holds a 6-1 advantage, just a minute gone in this first period.
Muller winning down there on mat number 1 as they go into, I believe, round 2, 11-2. We have Finch from Toma out here, and he's running up the score quickly against Archer Carl from Westby. 13-2 it is now. Then down on mat number 4, we have Tyler Kismore taking on Marek Windsor of GET, and that is 3-0 right now in favor of Kismore. And there's the fall as I try to catch back to Finch, and then I'll flip it back to Chuck.
All right. Another couple points here on mat number 2. It's 9-3 with the reversal for Johnson. He's trailing. And that will be the score as they go to the second period.
Finch was the number 1 seed there, getting the fall.
The Kismar-Windsor matchup is a 3-6 matchup.
That's a quarterfinal.
That's on mat 4.
Mat 4, yep. Must have had some sort of, oh, he's just waiting here for his opponent to show up. I thought the Iowa Grant wrestler was, he must be wrestling Riverdale, because Riverdale's saying the wrestler's still.
Now, Kirk will help us out here. Again, they made a change, if I remember right, in regards to the length of time that you have to wait between matches before you can wrestle again.
Yeah, they dropped that down to 30 minutes now, and so that helps in a lot of tournaments. And as Chuck said too earlier in the broadcast, that they increase the number of matches that you can have in a given day to 6 too. So
right. Yeah.
that helps to open up some of this, but I think you still have to be careful how many matches you're going to get in here. Here comes the Riverdale wrestler now. That'll be Chase McGuire from Riverdale, and he's going to be taking on Gunnar Johnson from GET in about here.
I like that 30 minutes instead of 45 minutes between matches too. I mean, these kids are, if they're going to get to that 6 match, they're in condition anyway.
Yeah,
they're ready to go. We've been
Right.
to how many matches that we're sitting around. It's usually the 285-pound weight class that you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And the kids are ready to go. The coaches are ready to go. The crowd's ready to go. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Thanks going out to 150-pound weight class sponsors. Napa, located Boscobel Richland Center, offering you brand name parts for your vehicle right here. Make sure you get the good stuff. And Manio Dairy Farms, for all your custom chopping, combining needs, be sure to contact Manio Dairy Farms at 585-3691.
Blake Muller, your winner down there on mat number 1. I believe that was, well, maybe just the match was over. He ended up winning, I believe, 11-2 is what the scoreboard said.
On mat number 2, we're nearing the end of the second period. And we'll end up with Stetzer going into the third with an advantage of 12-4 over Johnson.
Muller's match was 12-5. Nice win for him, though. So now we're moving on. We said
We had quite a scramble over here on mat 4, guys. I'm sorry. But Windsor was trying to come up with kind of a bit of a fireman's carry, and he couldn't quite catch the leg. And the next thing you know, Kismar has him down on his back. But again, to Windsor's credit, the freshman able to battle back and get off from his back, and now trails 10-0.
we're going to come to Chuck now.
All right, we're at the conclusion of the match between Stetzer and Johnson. And it was a pin, I believe, for Stetzer.
Yes, it was.
In a time of 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
So Meese and Stetzer, that's going to be a great match in the semis. My goodness. You know, these kids are ranked too, so.
Yeah. So now Kismore lives down there 10-0. We have Iowa Grant Highland against Holman out here on mat number 2. We'll get you the names here in a second. It's at about at 150. I'm going to flip it back to you, but it is Hinderman from Iowa Grant, but you get to pronounce that other young man's name from.
Oh, that's Josiah.
Josiah, there you go.
All right.
I shouldn't laugh, but
Yeah.
very proud.
Kamazwesti.
There you go.
If I slur it enough.
Yep, there you go. It sounded good.
This
you
is
got some skis in there and stuff.
Yeah. Hinderman, I see crowd here from Iowa Grand Highland, and I was told earlier this, if Hinderman can win this match, it'll be his 100th victory in high school. So,
Oh, that'd be cool. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
But now you see these kids posting placards up of 150 wins. I don't think it's going to be too long. We're going to have 200 wins.
I agree with you. I don't know what the record is yet in Wisconsin, but it's got to be over 180.
I would believe so, too.
I think we had a Lancaster wrestler with 172.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
so
Down there on mat number 1 in a quarterfinal bout at 150. We have Ty Larson from River Valley scoring an early takedown over Scott Johnson from GET. Still here on mat number 3, it's Gunnar Johnson with a 13-2 lead over Chase McGuire. And 10-0 down in your match, right, Ken?
Yeah. Kismar is still with the lead. Things haven't changed too much.
he better win because I already got him moving on. I thought that was final before. Hinderman working with another pinning combination, up 10-1. Has 19 seconds to go in this first period.
Now 11-1 down on mat 4.
Always good to look down and see you have really good table workers. I see we have Tom Coleman down here and the old athletic assistant down on mat number 4. We got down here. It's a good bunch down here too. I don't know. Well, then we got Mr. Emhoff down there in the green sweatshirt on mat number 1. Chad, good to see. Good table workers and good front desk.
Makes the tournament go a lot better.
Yep. Mr. Theed, he definitely has a good voice for tournament announcing.
Hinderman is now got the victory in 17-1 tech fall.
Okay, at 150 there. IG, Iowa Grant, Highland.
Kismar, he has a 14-1 lead, and we're under 20 seconds to go. So that looks like a 2-3 setup here for 150 pounds as time runs out.
14-2 on mat number 3 in favor of Johnson. Now we have a Knockreiner, Wyatt Knockreiner, coming out at 157 against Joe Wetter. That should be a good match, Chuck, for you on mat number 2.
Yeah, Knockreiner, a senior with a record of 15-1 wrestling against Joe Wetter. He's a junior, 2-2.
I think they're struggling because of weather too to get bouts in.
Thanks to 157-pound weight class sponsors, Phoenix Center, located here in Richland Center. It's a great place for class reunions, district meetings, banquets, and so much more. O'Reilly Auto Parts. When it comes to your vehicle, no one does it better for quality than O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Knockreiner is one of these, as I've watched him wrestle over the year, you know, he's at 157 pounds. Excuse me. Doesn't look as strong as he is, in my opinion. But you can tell he's just got the strength by how he manhandles maybe some people.
Well, typically most of the Knockreiners have been taller for their weight class and are longer, I'll call it.
They use their leverage
Very good leverage. And he's out to an early lead here and racking up some points, Chuck.
Yep, you got the takedown.
Down on mat 4, it is Tyson Imhoff of Iowa Grand Highland, the top seed, taking on Ashton Bennett, who picked up his first win on the varsity in the prelim matches. And now with the cradle being slapped on him, we got to try and fight off his back, but there's the pin. Imhoff moves on to the semifinals with the pin in 1 minute and 6 seconds, guys.
I got to make a clarification here. It's Imhoff with the 100th win.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
not
so
the
maybe
last
we'll get
one
an award here?
before.
Are the crowd cheering?
Yeah, well,
Where
you
is
see
that?
them all 100 up. They all.
Oh, here they are. Yep, they got them up here. Yep. They're to our left.
Yeah. So
As Mr. Clary was pointing out earlier, that you have to remember where you're sitting if you say left or right.
There you go. At 165 pounds, we're going to have another Iowa Grant Highland wrestler, the top seed in Jackson Bussey. He is going to be facing Mason Mumway Fleury, Holman Reserve.
You just watched Tyson Larson win down there with a 24-7 win over Scott Johnson. Tyson Larson from River Valley at 150 moves on to the semifinal action.
Knock Reiner at 157 pounds, up 10-0 under a minute and a half in the second period showing on the clock.
Down here in Consolation round at 157, we have Aiden Friesland from Iowa Grant Highland. He takes on Jake Shalom from Richland Center. 7-0 he leads in that bout at 157. Here for the first time today, we get to see that fine junior from Iowa Grant Highland, Jackson Bussey, as he takes on Mason Manoir Fleury from Holman. And then just as I get his name out, Jackson makes short work of it and gets a first period fall in 54 seconds for Iowa Grant Highland, and he will move on to the semifinals at 165.
Yeah, he wasn't wasting any time, was he?
He didn't, no. It just went real quick there. And he got the fall there against Fleury. Holman.
Got a win over here on 157, Kirk.
That was Friesen there in the wrestleback round.
Okay.
Against Shalom, that was at 157 in the wrestleback there. There's IG there. The program doesn't look very good, but hopefully I'll keep up. Now we have Mason Ulrich down there from Belmont on mat number 1. He's taking on Aiden Heckney from Reedsburg at 157. Mason, a senior with an 8-2 record. And then down on mat number 4, we have William Keenlance from Westby. He takes on Caden Davis from Belmont Platteville at 175.
Red are able to come up with a reversal at the end of the second period. Trails go by a score of 12-2.
Get his name out here quick because he's going for a fall. Hunter Alt from River Valley at 165, looking for first period pin against Landon Windsor on mat number 3.
Yeah, he went after a real quick toss and came up with a takedown and some near fall points.
Well, he only got 2 for the near fall though, so 5-0 lead there.
At 165 pounds, our weight class sponsors, the Reedsburg Wrestling Club, they want to remind you of the February 2nd. It's a Sunday. They're going to have their annual smelt feed. That is their 49th annual. My goodness, what a job they do there. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Brewster's Lanes in Reedsburg. It's all you can eat smelt and pork sandwiches. By the way, they also have an upcoming tournament at the Reedsburg High School with a limit of 500 wrestlers. That's a youth tournament. That is coming up on Sunday, February 16th. Registration closes on February 15th. Check that out as well. We'll talk more about all those different youth tournaments and stuff coming up later on during the day.
And Knock Reiner will end up with a 19-2 tech fall. Move into the semis.
getting to that 175-pound weight class down there on mat number 4 with Belmont Platteville in Caden Davis taking on Keen Lance. Keen Lance, a freshman. I tell you what, this is one of those young men that I've known for a while. I just think he's gonna, he might take a few lumps now and then, but he's one of those kids that I think by the time he's a junior, look out. Maybe even next year.
You're a freshman up at these upper weight classes. You better be the real deal.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's kind of got a tough one right now, of course, with Davis, who is going to pick up the Tech Fall here at 19-3 is your final. But Keen Lance is ready to battle back. He'll head to the Consolation side of things in this tournament.
You had a fall there, right, Chuck? 165, yeah.
I was looking away. No.
Owen Nolan came up with the fall there at 165 as we catch up here a little bit. He gets the fall there over Emerson Simerson from River Ridge. We got down there Mason Ulrich now. He's in a match now. Hackney's come back, and that match is 11-8 down there. Mat number 3, we have Hunter Alt out there, the senior, wrestling Landon Windsor from GET, and that match is now 13-8 in favor of Windsor from GET. Then down on mat number 4 now, we've moved up to 175, or we were at 175, but we have Braden Peterson. Is that Pete's boy? You're not sure?
Could be, though.
Could be, though.
Yeah.
Against Drew Rydell from River Valley. That's a quarterfinal bout. And now out on mat number 2, we'll get his name in a second, but we're up to 175 there, too. I believe that's another Hinderman, isn't it?
Jackson McGuire from Iowa Grand Highland.
Oh, okay.
And Ethan Bodenstein from Richland Center.
Oh, that could be a good bout there. Keep an eye on that one, Chuck.
Yeah, McGuire, top seed here at 175. Senior with a record of 10-1. Ethan Bodenstein, a junior, Richland Center at 4-2.
Hackney down there. Oh, wait, they're still debating down there. That's interesting. You're showing it as a final. We're going to have to update that.
McGuire looking to come up with a fall at 175. Still has a minute, and he's going to get the fall in 52 seconds.
There you go. McGuire, one of their better wrestlers at 175, or upper weight classes. He came in, like you said, number 1 seed.
Bodenstein will drop into the consolation bracket, has the opportunity to wrestle all the way back to 5th.
Peterson gets a fall down there at 175 for GET in that weight class. Braden Peterson. He was a 2 seed. There's something funky going on with that Ulrich match because they're showing it as a final, and now Ulrich comes back, and when they finally wrestled the 3rd period, they're going to have to fix that in track wrestling. But Ulrich comes back and gets the pin in the 3rd period. So I don't know what they're going to do there. That was at 157. He was wrestling Hackney from Reedsburg.
Our 175-pound weight class sponsors, Richards Insurance. Looking for best policies, check out the Richards Insurance Agency, #1 independent insurance agency in our area. Be sure to give Rob a call at Ithaca, 608-585-2137. And the Richland Hospital, proud to sponsor today's live broadcast of high school wrestling, offering quality care for the surrounding communities. We are moving into that 190-pound weight class on a couple of mats. Let's take a quick look on mat number 4. We have Iowa Grant Highland, it looks like, and
Will Whitker
Whitker
taking on Gavin Hinderman. I know there's another Hinderman coming up here.
There had to be somewhere, right?
Yeah, he leads now 3-0 in that. And then in Chuck's match, we have Blaine Walter Nath from Toma taking on Stevie Meyer from CFC at 190. And then down on mat number 1, we have a 165 pound, and that would be Nolan Waldner fine senior there from Ithaca West, and he takes on Briar Yelnick from Iowa Grand Highland. So that should be a good bout down there. And we see that interesting blue uniform again. That is wild from Ithaca West.
We noticed, you just said there too, you got Whitaker from Iowa Grand Highland and Hinderman from Iowa Grand Highland wrestling over on mat number 4.
Yep.
So they are able to move on up in the brackets after a win. And I'm talking about the non-scoring.
Non-scoring, okay.
Hinderman can't be the non-scoring one, is he?
I wouldn't think so, but
okay. Well,
he won and so did Whitaker.
Yeah.
All right.
Whitaker came in without a record, so.
Yeah.
3-1 in Chuck's mat there with Walter Nath. Oh, a pin down there for Waldner from Ithaca. We'd see good things from him as he gets that's a first period pin. Yeah, 102 the pin time there.
165 River Valley Alt gets a win. 21 to, what was that? 21 to 13 or something like that? It was a pretty crazy matchup there.
Get an update in here a second, but yeah, he was dominating in that match.
So let's take a look here. 6-1 score with what we believe at 190 in Gavin Hinderman with the lead over his teammate in Will Whitaker. And we have a matchup at 175 pounds out here on mat 3.
That is Bennett Rhodes from Reedsburg. He takes on Landon Umbehoven.
Udelhoven.
Thank you.
That's an old Lancaster name.
That's why I knew you would get that between the two of you. He's a freshman from River Ridge. No wonder River Ridge and Lancaster aren't that far apart.
Yep.
Got to get my yodeling in there so I can say that.
There you go.
Udelhoven. Getting a pin out there in your match, right, Chuck?
Yeah, and that's the Toma wrestler that's ahead on the board by a score of 8-1.
Blaine Walter Nath, a senior he was. Well, now he's getting pinned, though.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's been on his back for the last 25, 30 seconds.
There we got a fall
and
there.
He's going to. It'll be Stevie Meyer from Cochran Fountain City coming up with the fall after he was trailing 8-1.
That was Rhodes there. They got the fall on the other match.
Okay.
Reedsburg at 175. And that was then CFC came back and got the pin there at 190, right?
The one here on 3?
Going Chuck's there.
Oh, who was it?
He pinned him, right?
Yes, he did.
Come back there, right?
Trailing 8-1.
Yeah, that was CFC got the fall there.
Stevie Meyer.
Reedsburg's Bennett Rhodes picked up the pin at 175. That was on mat 3 over Udelhoven. Well, we are at 190 pounds in our...
And a lot of the weight classes out here, yep.
Yeah, our sponsors, Riverdale Wrestling Club, wishing the best to the Chieftains throughout the year. We thank Marcus and Jeff helping us out here. And all, of course, that wrestling club, all of us sitting right around us here. We appreciate that. Thanks to Dan Makovic and the River Valley Wrestling Club, TJ Wanakee. A very exciting squad here with River Valley. They've picked up some pretty neat wins already in dual meets. And in fact, they were second at the Reedsburg duels. So we thank them for their support.
On mat number 2, at 215 pounds, top seed Mason Monterano from Belmont Plateau, a senior with a record of 11-2, wrestling against Michael Burns from Richland Center, a senior with a record of 5-2. Monterano kind of banged in the forehead, nose a little bit earlier, kind of wobbled back for a little bit, and now they're going to must have a bloody nose.
Blood time there. Down on mat number 1, we got Braxton Walter at 190. Russ from Reedsburg. He is right now leading 10-1 over Mason Jelinek of Richland Center. Then on mat number 3, we have Cale Pickering from GET at 190. He's wrestling Carson Schmidt from the Holman Reserve. And then down on mat number 4 at 190, you have Reed Wobbleshaw from Ithaca West, and he's wrestling Blake Brickle from River Valley, and he trails there 6-0.
Yeah, Brickle out in front. He is the number 2 seed.
There's a fall down there. That would be Walter at 190 getting the fall there at 190 for Reedsburg. He is the number 1 seed. So
Monderano comes up with a fall. 52 seconds at 215 pounds. Top seed will move on into the semifinals.
You know, that's just with him and his brother. They just it's like they've been on the mats for 8 years or better.
Yeah,
Seems like it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 10-1 down there. Brickle out in front as they go into the second period. 10-6 here in the match between Pickering and Schmidt. New match down there, mat number 1 now. That's Tucker Degenhart from Iowa Grand Highland. He takes on Ryan McCoy. McCoy is probably by the number 1 wrestler that comes out of Hillsboro right now. He's coming in with a nice 8-3 record. But Degenhart's got supporting a nice 8-4 record. New on your match there, Chuck, you have Caden Mars at 215. And then my computer kicked out. We got the name, the other guy, Ben Otto, Ithaca Western.
Yeah, we got a pin down here on mat number 4.
That was Brickle coming up with a fall down there for River Valley at 190. Blake Brickle moves on to the semifinals. He's your number 2 seed, and he moves on to the semifinals to take on Stevie Meyer, we just saw get a pin here just a little while ago.
We got that pin in 239.
They're quickly lining up through the quarters here, and then we'll see if there's a chance we'll take a break or if they're going to bump right into the semis and wrestle back some more.
You know, that's a good point. I would think they would want to do a round of consolation quick.
Yeah, you would think to catch that up.
Yeah.
Although they both should be at the same point. It should be the semifinals.
You'd want to do these consolations,
Yeah.
the quarterfinal consolations, and then do these at the same time.
Okay.
That's what I would do if I was.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep. On mat number 2, this is a wrestleback match, consolation match
Yeah, you're
between
right. I did
Caden
get-
Mars.
yep. As is
and
mat
Ben
number
Otto.
3. Quarterfinals on both end at 215, and then 2 consolation matches in the middle here.
And just to note, the consolation matches are 1-2-2 in time.
Yes.
Our 215-pound weight class sponsors, Betesnik Motors. Boy, take a look at all that they have to offer. They're open Tuesday through Fridays, Saturdays, closed on Sundays, and I think they're still closed on Mondays. I forgot to double check that one, but thanks to Garrett Betesnik and all the crew down there just east of Richland Center on Highway 14. And in memory of Larry Makovic, the Makovic family, Coach Dan Makovic, his mother Ann, and of course the River Valley wrestling families supporting today's broadcast, and in memory of Larry Makovic.
And number 1 down there, we have consolation round going on. That's Jed Larson. He takes on from Holman. He takes on Jaden McGraw from Hillsboro.
That was consolation side.
It's on the consolation side. There's a slap of the mat down there, and that is the young man from Reedsburg getting the fall down there against Caden Coleman. That was in a quarterfinal for Reedsburg winning down there at 215 for Reedsburg.
That was the number
That was
6
number
seed.
6 seed
Yeah.
coming through there, beating the number 3 seed.
Yep.
So there's another slap of the mat on Chuck's.
Yep, and it's going to be a win for Caden Mars from Baraboo. The consolation match.
That was a consolation match, yep.
We're going to move to 285 pounds, and out there on mat number 4. You better not blink. Grant Matthews stepping out onto the mat. He was so exciting last year watching him wrestle. He is taking on, let's see, who is that over there? Is that Iowa Grant?
I don't think that's Matthews. I think that's the other young man.
That is the other one. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yes.
I think that's that Courier or whatever. I'll get you a name here in a second.
Courier.
Yeah. That's Brokop out there now.
Yeah, they got the window or the door open.
Oh,
behind
you
us.
can feel that
Yeah,
tension.
it feels wonderful, doesn't it? Nice shot.
Terrible.
Down there, mat number 1, we have Jed Larson from Holman. That's 3-0 score against McGraw from Hillsborough. Mat number 2 is Thomas Kastner at 285 quarterfinal. He's taking on Bennett Nelson from Westby in a quarterfinal match. And then mat number 3 is Caden Klein from Iowa Grand Highland taking on Aaron Dunnigan from GT. Take it back to you, Chuck.
All right, 285 pounds, as Kirk just said, on mat number 2 is Thomas Kastner from Belmont Platteville. He's a junior with a record of 6-1, the number 3 seed, wrestling against Bennett Nelson from Westby. He is a freshman with a record of 5-6.
So, guys, Troy Clary just stopped up and he goes, just so you know, that the back of their uniform, it's a jackalope. He goes, that's their temporary mascot right now.
A jackalope.
A jackalope. So,
Okay.
Yes, I've never seen a jackalope before. It looks to me like a very good deer that I would shoot in the woods if I saw one that big.
no kidding.
But a jackalope, huh?
Shoot, yep.
So it must, okay, jackalope usually means part rabbit, part deer?
Something like that. I think you're pretty
I'm
close.
not sure.
Then we got to get back to my,
Hey,
oh, there's Mr. McCauley up above us.
he's always working. You too.
We got Courier against Brokop down there, and that actually is kind of, it's 8-3 right now.
8-3 now. Yeah. Yeah. We do have.
Injury out here on mat number 3. That's a quarterfinal between Caden Klein at 215 from Iowa Grant taking on Aaron Dunnigan from GET. And right now it is Klein that has injury time. Mat number 2, that again is Kastner from Belmont Platteville. He's wrestling Nelson from Westby. 3-0, and Kastner's got Nelson a lot of trouble. Down on mat number 1, 3-0 score down there. That's a wrestleback at 215. Larson from Holman against McGraw from Hillsborough. Missed McCoyk's match here, I believe, though he got a fall. Yeah, there he won by a fall there at 215, so he's moving on.
Brockup has now picked up pinning combination here.
So McCoyk will wrestle Mandarano in our semifinal action. Brockup just gets the pin down there at 285 for Iowa Grand Highland.
Kastner gets the fall for Belmont Platteville at 285.
Our 285-pound weight class sponsors, we want to say thank you to WCCU. Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas from our team members of WCCU. You got your Richland Center office, Westby office, Viroqua, Cashton, so on. Westby Wrestling Club reminding you of the Westby Duels coming up on Saturday, January 18th, where I got the date right. Westby also will be hosting the Division III sectionals. That'll be a really interesting and fun time. And also they're experimenting with doing the Cooley Conference Wrestling Tournament. That'll be on Friday, February 7th. Not a Saturday, but a Friday night. And that'll start at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we look forward to those matches coming up. So those are all of our fine sponsors. We appreciate very, very much.
All right, we've got consolation matches starting now, too, and we still have, I think, two 285-pound matches.
Yeah.
We got one on
one of them is going on mat number 3. That's Landon Knuth. That's a name that I believe is pretty popular in Reedsburg there.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a freshman, 8-5, taking on John Rogers from Baraboo. So came over here to neighbor. And then the other consolation match that's still at 2:15, that's going on down at mat number 1, 4-3 down there. But Chuck, on his match now, we answered the question that my esteemed colleagues answered earlier. We're going to go right into consolation matches. At 1:13, we have Wyatt Howell from Cashton taking on Braden Baksha. Vaca, there, thank you. Iowa Grand Highland.
And who did you say his opponent, Vaca's opponent was?
Howell from Cashton.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep, and then on the other bout at 120 consolation round, we have Ashton Udelhoven from Boscobel taking on Ben Reese from River Valley. That's at 120 consolation. So we're finishing up our semis and consolation wrestlebacks in the upper weight classes. We've got a final down there on mat number 1, and that is Larson. The Holman Reserves wins down there and moves on at 2:15. So we just got this one, I believe. Oh, no, there's that Matthews kid you were talking about. He's way down there on mat number 1.
Oh, there he is.
And he's going to be taking on, as Ethan Bendel goes up here, he's going to get a real fine taste of what it is to wrestle on varsity, going against Grant Matthews. Matthews comes out right away, and he just gets that big underhook and just powers right in and got a half Nelson in, and he's looking for a quick run here.
Matthews, the number 2 seed in the 285-pound weight class, undefeated junior with a record of 9-0. Bendel from Richland Center, also a junior, with a record now of 5-1.
Matthews just so powerful that he just kind of bowls in or powers in is probably the better, nicer word to say, and he just can overpower you in a hurry.
He was a state qualifier last year, wasn't he?
It sure seems like it.
I know he was chasing the state champion all the time, but I'm pretty sure he made it to the state tournament, yes.
Comes up with a fall, does Matthews. He'll be into the semifinals against Kastner from Belmont Platteville.
Well, with that match concluded, we're going to take a quick break on the recording and say thanks for watching this quarterfinal round of the 61st annual Richland Center Wrestling Tournament. Well, we do have a 285-pound match still going on here. With that, we'll pick up on that in just a moment, and we'll come right back here for this tournament action.